planning that you need to just make alterations.
Okay.
So, yeah, if they do make changes to pensions, it'll likely be future changes that you'll have plenty of time to plan for. You don't need to rush and make knee-jerk reaction decisions to speculation. But this government's indecisiveness and creation of uncertainty is really not helping.
So is that in play already, this £3,000 tax?
No, it's still £5,000.
Still 5,000?
Yeah, the personal savings allowance is £5,000.
Until, or is the legislation come in for sure? Do we know?
No, we don't know for sure.
So, okay. So, I mean, if it does come in that instance, any total gains under the amount of 3,000, you don't owe any tax on. And but at the minute it's 5,000.
Yeah,
you don't owe any tax on.
Yeah, just got to be careful on the terminology because it's not classed as gains, because gains would be capital gains tax rates. Okay. This is about interest on cash, and interest is taxed at income tax rates.
Right.
Which, yeah, if you're sat as a base rate taxpayer, you'd pay 20% on that, or 40% if you're a high rate taxpayer.
Okay, but if you have that much cash anyway, with and that much interest, you're probably a high rate taxpayer, right?
You'd be surprised, because if you think about all people that don't work, people who are retired, they've often got a lot of capital.
Yeah.
And that creates a lot of interest.
Yeah.
So, they might not have high amounts of earned income. They're probably basic rate taxpayers, because to earn over £50,000 just through pension income, you have a really, really good pension for that.
Yeah.
So that's not typical at all.
Yeah.
Even a lot of my clients, most of the retired clients who are all wealthy people, don't have earned income or pension income over that high rate tax threshold. So most of them are basic rate taxpayers, which is what makes pensions so beneficial if you're a high earner whilst you're making contributions, because you get higher tax relief or additional tax relief on the way in, but on the way out, you're a basic rate taxpayer. So you pay tax on not all of the pension, because you've got 25% of it tax-free, but what you do draw income down from, you're probably only paying 20% tax on, whereas you've got 40 or 45% relief on the way in. So
you pay tax on your pension as well once you're receiving it?
Yeah, it's taxed like it's income. It's taxed like it's earned income. So that typically is lower than your salary when you're working.
Yeah.
So you tend to be a basic rate taxpayer, but you might have accumulated a chunky amount of savings by that time. So that's where tax on interest becomes, for maybe 30% of the population, they might have savings in later life that potentially this tax on interest becomes a consideration.
Okay. And they tax pensions because I guess it's their form of, because since it's like a cheat code of having tax-free savings your whole life and capital gains tax-free savings your whole life, that's still getting the tax at the end.
That's your small trade-off. So pensions and ISAs are the bedrock of financial planning, and they have different benefits in and out. So ISAs, money going in, is post-tax money. So you've paid tax on what you put into an ISA. You used to get paid salary, you've paid tax on it, full amount. If you're a high rate taxpayer, you've paid a lot of tax on it, and then you added the money to the ISA. But on the way out, it's all completely tax-free. Whereas the pensions are a bit more efficient, because you're getting the tax relief on the way in when you're probably a higher taxpayer, and then on the way out, you pay your tax. And you get 25% of it tax-free. Yeah. So yes, you get your capital gains tax-free growth on your way up. You get tax relief on the way up. And then, on the way out, you just got to be aware that you will be paying income tax on the taxable element of your pension, which is 75% of your pot.
Do you have any idea what the average gains are on on pensions yearly?
Depends on the underlying investments. So if it was an employer-sponsored pension, then you're typically in something like a lifestyle fund, which would be higher risk in your early years, and then 10 to 15 years out from retirement, it would start to de-risk. The idea behind that is that's a bit of a legacy format where most people prior would buy an annuity with that pension pot when they retire. So as you approach retirement, you don't want too much volatility because you don't want to get there and all of a sudden on the date that you retire and you buy an annuity, the markets have crashed and you're fully invested in the market and you see a huge dip in your value and you've lost a huge chunk of your pension pot. So it de-risks hugely. It's a bit different these days because a lot of people will take the option of flexi access drawdown. So you keep your pot invested forever and you draw down from your investment what you need, so you can set the income requirements, you can increase them, decrease them, keep them the same, switch them off. So really the rate of return is depends entirely on the underlying investments. If you're invested in the stock market 100%, in the last 20 years the global stock market's earned about 9% a year on average. Obviously, if you've got a blend of that and other asset classes, you might be a bit lower. You might have picked some funds that have performed even better than that. So it depends entirely on what's inside the pension.
Okay, before we move on, quick one. Do you have any favourable stocks at all, or ETFs? Or
No, I don't. I probably couldn't say.
As in something you would rather not, or
I just can't. Like I can't
disclose.
It's not so much disclose. I can't offer personal preferences on things like stocks and funds. I don't see there's very little way I can say that without it coming across as as advice or recommendation.
So is there any you choose in particular, or?
No, because there's no one fund manager that constantly outperforms. There's no one territory that constantly outperforms. I know it seems like America seems to be just on this juggernaut train. So if you watched social media, sound like a grandfather. If you scroll through social media, you'll see lots of people, Jordan Belfort and whoever, just saying, just track the S&P 500, and that's relatively easy to do, but the S&P 500 might have done well recently. That's the past. It's irrelevant. If you're investing from today going forward, I know you can't know what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
So you've just got to manage risk as best as you can and make sure that there's plenty of diversification.
Yeah.
So there's a good spread of your investments. And that overall allocation is suitable for your risk profile.
Yeah.
And if you can, speak to a financial planner and get their view on what looks like a good portfolio. Get an understanding of what costs and charges there are, what impact that will have on the growth of your portfolio as well. And don't just do that as a one-off exercise and then forget about it. Make sure that it's monitored. And make sure you're regularly reviewing.
Of course, diversification is always number one. But when it comes to, say, buying stocks, if you was to be purchasing 5 stocks right now, what would those 5 stocks be?
I don't know. So I'm not